Ronda versus Becky, huh? That's funny. The SmackDown Live Women's Champion versus Raw Women's Champion. Who is going to take it all? I think you forgot about someone, and it makes me sick to my stomach. You sexist pigs, how could you forget about the Divas Champion? I held this championship for over 4 years, and I cannot get into a triple threat match to pretty much just destroy the Raw and SmackDown Women's Champions? I think they're afraid. I think they're afraid of me, and you know what? They don't even deserve to see the Divas Champion on Survivor Series. Girl, bye. Welcome everybody to another episode of the greatest show on the internet and the only wrestling show that you should be watching, Greatness of Wrestling. Today's biggest talking point is going to be Survivor Series because we got a lot of news. For example, we got pretty much every match confirmed, we got leaked, rumored Survivor Series teams, and we also got information on what Survivor Series originally was supposed to look this year. No SmackDown vs RAW matches. But before we talk about that, I need someone to pump me up.
This is gonna get dirty. Lashley! More to come.
So ever since the 2016 WWE brand split continued, every year we got SmackDown vs Raw matches, every champion would face off, and you would get women's teams and men's teams square off as well. One of my favorite WWE concepts, and I know a lot of people hate this, but I just love them wearing these red and blue t-shirts. I know it's silly, but that's just one of my favorite things in the WWE. I also love this draft, like in a video game, Mortal Kombat style. I loved it, and I know it's embarrassing, but bring it back. But in 2018, this whole SmackDown vs Raw theme of the pay-per-view was supposed to be cancelled. WrestleVotes are reporting that Vince McMahon wanted to avoid Roman Reigns versus AJ Styles at Survivor Series this year, even though Styles would be WWE champion and Reigns would hold the Universal title. So the whole SmackDown vs Raw format was not going ahead this year. Team Corbin versus Team Angle for control of Monday Night Raw was going to be the main match, which would see Raw vs Raw rather than the traditional brand supremacy match. Obviously, since Reigns was forced to relinquish the title, Lesnar has taken his place and the match is now going ahead. It all makes sense because we seen the tease of Baron Corbin versus Kurt Angle. I think it was pretty obvious that this is the match that they were going with, which I think would really suck in my honest opinion. I want to see the t-shirts. Remember that time John Cena didn't wear a t-shirt? Lost all respect. To me, it's interesting how Vince McMahon didn't want AJ Styles versus Roman Reigns, because to me it says that Vince McMahon also wants AJ Styles to look strong, just like with Roman Reigns, because I don't think he would have a problem with AJ losing because it's Roman Reigns right here. Roman Reigns never loses, but it's confusing. I don't know why, but is AJ Styles going to defeat Brock Lesnar? No, but he's not gonna look weak as well. So I'm not quite sure whether this is legit, but it seems like it since we got this tease. Personally, the biggest problem I have with this pay-per-view is the fact that, well, look at 2017 Survivor Series. Just because they didn't feel like Jinder Mahal is a worthy opponent for Brock Lesnar, title changed hands. And even though I really appreciated AJ Styles versus Brock Lesnar, one of my favorite WWE matches, I just don't appreciate this fact that like 2 weeks before the pay-per-view we have like 4-3 title changes. I understand why they're doing it, I just don't agree with it. But let me know in the comments below, do you guys even enjoy the SmackDown vs Raw format of Survivor Series? Personally, one of my favorite things in the WWE. So maybe you're wondering, who are the 5 men on Raw and who are the 5 men on SmackDown who are going to square off at Survivor Series? And I think I have the answer, but don't take it for granted. The men's match is set to feature WWE Hall of Famer Kurt Angle, Braun Strowman, Bobby Lashley, Drew McIntyre, and Dolph Ziggler versus Daniel Bryan, The Miz, Randy Orton, Samoa Joe, and Rey Mysterio, according to Pro Wrestling Insider. The plan as of today was to have acting Raw General Manager Baron Corbin in one corner with SmackDown Commissioner Shane McMahon in the other corner. First of all, I think the teams look legit, but what makes me question this is Shane McMahon not wrestling. I don't think he's gonna be just in the corner. I really think he's going to wrestle in that match. Maybe he's going to replace someone, I'm not quite sure. I really see WWE doing this during the pay-per-view. The Miz gets injured or he cannot compete, Shane McMahon replaces him. So maybe this is legit, but I don't think that these are the final teams. When it comes to the members of the teams, I think they're kinda alright. To be quite honest with you, the star power may not be as big as last year, but this one makes way more sense. For example, I didn't understand why Triple H was a part of Monday Night Raw. I didn't understand why John Cena was a part of Monday Night Raw. The only problem is that it might be just a little bit too predictable because we have Daniel Bryan and The Miz in the same team, and on Raw we have Braun Strowman, Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre on the same team, so we might get a little bit of screw jobs or something like that. But overall, this one reminds me more of 2016 Survivor Series, one of my favorites of all time, so I'm like 90% sure that this one is going to be better than the 2017 one. When it comes to Survivor Series matches, pretty much all of them got confirmed already. Men's 5-on-5 traditional Survivor Series elimination match, women's 5-on-5 traditional Survivor Series elimination match, IC champion versus US champion, and this is going to be an interesting one because we never seen Seth Rollins versus Shinsuke Nakamura in the WWE or I think anywhere else, so I guess this is kind of a dream match, I think. I'm way more interested in this match than I was for AJ versus Shinsuke, just my honest opinion. Raw Women's Champ versus SmackDown Women's Champ, and a rematch from last year, Universal Champ versus WWE Champion. I'm really excited for this one because last year's match is one of my favorite matches of 2017, if not my favorite, because I really enjoyed it. Had an amazing story, just this beast versus an underdog. I really enjoyed this match. And it seems like Brock Lesnar only had a good match with AJ Styles, and it seemed like he actually enjoyed working with AJ Styles. So that's one of the biggest reasons why I'm actually interested in this, because you don't often see Brock Lesnar's good matches anymore. So that's interesting. Yesterday we talked about the injury that Triple H suffered during WWE Crown Jewel, and this is the result. Felt cute, might delete later. We obviously wish him luck, and we don't know whether he's going to make it into WrestleMania, but it raises a question. So what about this Batista versus Triple H match that was teased and pretty much confirmed anyway, because Batista wants the match, it got teased, so I think it's pretty obvious, right? Well, let's say Triple H cannot wrestle Batista, right? The only matches I want to see then is Batista versus Randy Orton. I think that makes sense, a lot of sense. Or Batista versus The Rock, which is obviously not going to happen, but that's one of my dream matches. But something possible that would be really exciting is Batista versus Brock Lesnar. I don't know why people are not talking about this, but I feel like that's the only Brock Lesnar match I want to see right now in the WWE. So if Triple H cannot wrestle, maybe these are the replacements. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Ryback confirms TV return in 2019. Just playing with all the f***s I give. And to end this episode of Greatness of Wrestling, let's talk about John Cena. So he was not a part of WWE Crown Jewel because he pulled out of the pay-per-view, and just like I've said, you kinda should have two different opinions maybe, because first of all, we all understand why he did it, but second of all, the people in the crowd are innocent. They did nothing wrong. They paid their money to see John Cena because we all know John Cena is the biggest WWE star, so I kinda understand it. So it's been said that Crown Jewel crowd felt betrayed by John Cena, so I understand why he did it, but I also understand these people. Imagine like, this is my first WWE pay-per-view, I paid a lot of money, I saved for 2 years, I want to see John Cena. John Cena is not here and he's one of the only wrestlers you actually know. I feel them in a way. I'm not blaming anyone, I'm just saying that they have a right to be mad. But anyway, that's it for today's episode of Greatness of Wrestling. Let me know in the comments below, what do you think about this year's Survivor Series? Do you think it will be better than last year's? Because last year's was kinda meh, honestly. And one more thing, I'm kind of thinking about bringing more different content to the channel. For example, one thing that I really want to do is WWE video game reviews, random old WWE game gameplays, and another thing that I really want to do is Raw and SmackDown reviews in a separate video. So if you want that, make sure to click that like button and let me know in the comments below, should I upload Raw and SmackDown reviews tomorrow? Anyway, thank you for watching this video. As always, yeah boy, the great one. Peace, love, and hugs.